We're back, everybody. We still got Rambo on the line, and I wanted to see if Rambo caught wind of what we put out this week, because could probably add a few more dots here. Rambo, did you catch this about this simulation from June 1st, 2001, a government exercise called Operation Amalgam Virgo? The poster for it was with Osama bin Laden's face, and it was a simulation of cruise missiles hitting strategic targets. We also covered another simulation from just before that of a Pentagon, or a plane flying into the Pentagon, which was exactly 322 days before 9/11, and they did it on the day, leaving 68 days left in the year. But this Operation Amalgam Virgo, I feel it's right up your alley. I had to look up what the word amalgam meant. Amalgam, an alloy of mercury with another metal. So I was like, wow, this is everything Rambo's been talking about. Virgo and Mercury and 9/11. And were you aware of this?
Yes, actually, Ben brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
On the Free to Find Food platform. He's a brilliant guy. He did bring it to my attention. And it did confirm what I said. 9/11 was a Mercury ritual. I mean, I'm not... It starts out as a theory, but as I connect more and more dots, I mean, I know there are a lot of people in the truth movement, a lot of people with strong esoteric backgrounds, people who actually are actual adepts, but they all seem to be missing this. 9/11 was... there were multiple elements to the 9/11 ritual. There are many reasons they did it on an exoteric level, of a party for oil, it was strategic. It was to usher in, justify more surveillance, an artificial threat. It was all that. But at the heart, it was at a very esoteric root. And it's no coincidence that Iraq used to be Babylon. This all goes back to Babylon. It all goes back to Babylon and further, but it has an esoteric root. And at the heart, it was a Mercury ritual. I mean, then the opinion part of it, that's just aside. The opinion part of it is, what is Mercury, or who is Mercury to them, that it's so central. And it is a theory already out there, popular among some Christians. Clearly, Jesus Christ was not born on December 25th. The description in the Bible, and again, is it a metaphor? Is Jesus a metaphor? Is Jesus a real person? Romans came up with the name Jesus. You can speculate on that, but there is something. Jesus, maybe it's a metaphor for something. It could be a metaphor for enlightenment and awakening and reaching a higher level of consciousness. He could be a metaphor for that, or maybe it could be an actual physical person who's trying to portray, convey the message of how to, elevate people's consciousness. And people like that always get killed off because the Roman Empire, who they crucified Christ, which they're the new Babylon, and they're bent on world domination and enslavement of the human race. You don't want someone who's going to empower people. And the whole message of just worshiping a savior passively who'll save you, that's not an empowering message. So the real message of Jesus, the Roman Empire created Christianity. I think there was a person, and I think they did have that message, which they left out, but they've left in a few truths. But yeah, it was a Mercury ritual. It just happens to coincide with the purported birth of Jesus. And so it was called Operation Amalgam Virgo. And I did the gematria on Operation Amalgam Virgo, sums to 119. And if I do the gematria on Amalgam Virgo, it sums to 119. And it's significant that it occurred on June 1st and June 2nd, because June 1st and June 2nd, the zodiac is Gemini. And the ruling planet of Gemini is Mercury. Mercury also rules Virgo, which is the name of the operation. 9/11 is under Virgo. The symbol for Gemini is twins. The twin towers were a Gemini symbol. Also, I looked at the date numerology of June 2nd, 2001. 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1. Like, in 4 different combinations of calculating the date numerology. June 2nd, 2001 comes out to 11 in 2 combinations, and it comes out to 9 in 2 different combinations. So June 2nd, 2001 can be 11, it can be 11, it could be 9, and it could be 9. But yes, again, like you even point out the other simulation done with 68 days in the year. The Greek version of Mercury is Hermes, and Hermes sums to 68.
Okay.
So that's a reference to Hermes.
Okay.
That was brilliant by Ben. Finding that out, it's confirmed what I pretty much have. At this point, it's not even an opinion. It is a Mercury ritual. Like the opinion part can be, okay, so what is Mercury? Who is Mercury? What is Mercury to them? That they're doing all these rituals around Mercury.
Indeed. And just for one other thing about that, June 1st, the start date of that simulation was 102 days before 9/11, like how they said the attack lasted 102 minutes and how Al-Qaeda's 102, and again, the Jesuits translated Art of War, and Art of War is 102, like World War and the American Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year. So, I mean, they encoded a lot of things, but again, this simulation that Ben found, I mean, it proves the two things that you're here trying to, put an exclamation point on each week, how astrology and gematria come together. And again, for people who are new here, Rambo's been talking about Mercury and 9/11 nonstop. And then to find this simulation, I mean, it's just undeniable now. So,
I mean, it was also in the Matrix. In the Matrix, they zeroed in on Neo's passport. Neo's passport in the Matrix, which was done, I think it was 99, it was done before 2001. His passport expired September 11th, 2001. But Neo, his birthday was September 13th. So Neo was a Virgo. Keanu Reeves, who was picked to play, you were just earlier talking in your intro of how actors are picked according to their birthday. That is absolutely true. Like a specific role will call for a specific zodiac sign. The role of Neo had to go to a Virgo or a Gemini. So Keanu Reeves is a Virgo. The character Neo was a Virgo. His passport expired September 11th, 2001. And his real name was Thomas Anderson. The name Thomas means twin. That's a Gemini reference. So again, there's Gemini Virgo. You can even see with JFK. JFK is a Gemini. LBJ, his vice president, was a Virgo. Mercury rules transportation. If you go to the most famous transportation hub in the world, Grand Central Terminal in New York City, on the southern facade is a statue of Mercury, the god Mercury, Roman god Mercury, and the title of that statue is transportation. That's why 9/11, being a Mercury ritual, involved transportation. Kobe Bryant was a Virgo. He's Mercury. So he died in the form of transportation. Like Prince was a Gemini. He died in an elevator, form of transportation. JFK was a Gemini. He died in the form of transportation, and his successor, LBJ, who was a Virgo, was sworn in on Air Force One, which made no sense at all. You'd swear in the President of the United States, it's a pretty big deal. Would you swear him in before getting on a plane or after? Why'd you do it in midair? Because of the Mercury ritual. The Mercury rules transportation. So yeah, these are the themes you see. You'll very often see Gemini and Virgo in the same ritual. That means it's a Mercury ritual. So Mercury is central to them. We can speculate on why, but yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was great by Ben. It confirmed what. So even though I pretty much established, it's always good to get that confirmation. So yeah, kudos to Ben. Absolutely.
Indeed.
You got some tarot cards. I don't remember if one time you said that the Magician card in tarot, like to you thought that related to 9/11. You remember saying that?
I did. Indeed.
Oh, and what made you make that connection?
I forget because I haven't talked about it for like 5 months. I think it's about the gematria of the Magician. Let me see. I gotta go back and think. I cannot remember why I said that right now, Rambo. I gotta go back and find my notes.
See, what I think is, I don't know if...
I know. I remember what it was. I remember what it was now.
Okay.
I remember what it was. Magic. The word magic equals 33 and 102. And again, 9/11, they said the attack lasted 102 minutes, just like how they did that simulation 102 days before 9/11. And then it's also 33, like how from 1968 to 2001 was 33 years later. And then it's the first card in the deck, too, like it was 2001 that 9/11 happened in 01. And So, for people who don't know, 1968 is the year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. World Trade Center construction began. Boeing debuted their jumbo jetliner. 2001: A Space Odyssey came out. George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. The New York Jets, that was their only Super Bowl winning season. Think about it, New York Jets, 9/11. The 9/11, the Patriot Act, the Patriots, Tom Brady. Birth was given to Tom Brady after Mo Lewis sacked Drew Bledsoe and wrecked him. And by the way, Drew Bledsoe's from Washington State, like Boeing and the construction firm that built the World Trade Centers that came down on 9/11. So that was my thought with the magician card, is just that the word magic is 33 and 102 and how those numbers fit in with 9/11.
So were you aware of which tarot card? Because each tarot card corresponds with a planet, and each tarot card also corresponds with a zodiac sign. Are you aware of those correspondences?
I'm not. That's something I have to research. Do you know what the magician card corresponds with?
Yes, it is, because the magician card represents the planet Mercury.
Huh.
So you are right on the money.
It just makes too much sense. And again, tarot equals 74, like English, like gematria, like how the World Trade Centers were on the 74th meridian west. And I think that's a big part of, I think if we really put our time into researching tarot cards, I think we'd unlock a lot more. So,
but I think you have, maybe the numbers led you to it, but I think you have a degree of intuitiveness. Maybe you don't think so. You do seem to be somewhat intuitive, but you were right on the money with, what I found. Even if you look, if you just Google web search, you can say what does Mercury represent, or you can do tarot card in a planet, association. You guess whatever. The card that you picked out as representing 9/11 happens to be the card that represents Mercury, and you didn't know that, but that was the card that represents Mercury.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it all in the book I'm working on right now, and I'm going to give a shout out to Rambo right in there in Ben. So, you guys are amazing.
All right, appreciate it.
Anything else, Rambo?
Just one last thing on that. The magician comes from the word magi, and it was the three magi who were led to the baby Jesus. They're called magi. That's where you get the word magician. So that's another Christ reference. Also, if you see the way the magician is depicted in the tarot card, he's depicted wearing the red and white robes that Jesus is wearing. So, more connections there. That's where you get the word magi. A magician from magi, the three magi, who are actually Zoroastrians. But yeah, that's it.
It makes too much sense. Brilliant observations as always.
Yeah, that's
maybe next week you can figure out what's behind this word maskell, Pentagon maskell, the simulation of the plane flying into the Pentagon 322 days before 9/11. So,
how do you spell that?
Mascal. I'm not familiar with that word. I'm sure I could look it up right now, but I know if you look it up, you'll connect a lot more dots. So there's got to be something to it, though.
Okay, I'll see if I can find something.
You know what? It actually might stand for mass. It might just be a short word for mass casualty, actually, because I see that's the language of the thing. Maybe that's all that. Or there could be something else to it, but I do see that mass casualty is part of the simulation. So.
Now the Pentagon was Venus because of the pentagram. So it was a Mercury ritual, and they like to persecute Mercury and Venus.
There's a pentagram right on the pentagram right on the magician card. If you can see that, the pentagram's on that card.
Yeah, the pentagram is Venus. So if you think of how the planets are located, you have the sun. The first planet after the sun is Mercury. Then the second planet is Venus. Then you have Earth. So Venus and Mercury, because of their positions, are very unique as far as we on Earth are concerned, because those are the two planets in between us and the sun. So, yeah, this is also a destruction of Venus ritual as well, which you'll see a lot of that as well. Which I get. I mean, there's a deeper ritual. It goes back into more ancient mythology, but yeah, that's for another time.
All right, Rambo. Appreciate it as always. Great work, friend.
All right, thanks.